Okay, once they have 51% of all of the shares, they now own your company. So if they're able to buy more shares than you have, then they own your company. This is what we call a hostile takeover. The Glazers did this with Manchester United. They bought all of the shares. They're multi-billionaires. They just started buying shares, and now they own Manchester United back through a hostile takeover. Because remember, a public limited company, shares are sold on the stock exchange. The business has no control over who buys shares, and if a business buys all of the shares, then they now own your business. Like I've said before, public limited companies, they need to please the shareholders because they're the owners, they're the investors, and they also need to share the customers. So it's a bit tricky, it's a bit difficult to run a public limited company because you need to keep two groups of people happy, the shareholders and the customers, which is not really a good situation to be in. Businesses really only want to look after their customers, but public limited companies have to look after both. If you're struggling with these two as a disadvantage, then this is a nice and easy one for you to take, guys, and I recommend you use this one. Public limited companies need to publish their financial data on the internet. You can go on the internet right now, you can Google Apple's financial predictions, financial data, profit and loss account, and it's all on the internet. The reason why that information is on the internet is because when you're investing your hard-earned cash into a business, you want to look at their financial information, their financial data, to make sure, is this the type of business I want to invest my money into? Well, there's a problem there. Because the business's financial data is on the internet, who else has access to this information? Their competitors. So your competitors can go on the internet and they can access all of your financial information. That's like your dirty secrets. You don't want this on the internet. Yeah, if you've got any secrets, you don't want this out there for everybody to know. Okay, you want to keep your secrets with you. Well, this is the business's secrets. You don't want these secrets on the internet for your competitors to see. Well, unfortunately, public limited companies have no choice. By law, they have to publish all of their financial information on the internet. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is private limited company. Now, the only difference between a private limited company than a public limited company, again, they're owned by shareholders, but this time, shares are not sold on the stock exchange. So, who would you sell shares to? It's usually friends, family, people you trust. So you have control over who buys shares. They're not sold freely on the stock exchange. You choose, yeah, I'll sell you a share. No, I won't sell you a share. You have absolute control over who buys shares in a private limited company because they are not sold on the stock exchange. Private limited companies have LTD at the end of their name. So LTD, standing for limited. So they have LTD at the end of their names. Remember, public limited companies have PLC. Private limited companies have LTD. Benefits of being a private limited company: again, they can raise large sums of finance, or they can raise finance, should I say, by selling shares. Not as much as public limited companies because you are only selling shares to friends and family, but they can raise money, finance, by selling shares to people that they know who want to invest in their business. This is something, remember, sole traders and partnerships cannot do. So private limited companies can sell shares to raise finance. They can choose who buys shares. So this is a benefit over public limited companies because private limited companies have control over who buys shares. And because of that, there is no hostile takeover because you have full control over who buys shares in your business. And again, limited liability is an advantage, so that goes into the advantage box of being a private limited company. The drawbacks of being a private limited company: this one is a drawback against a PLC. Private limited companies cannot raise as much finance as PLCs, public limited companies. Again, if you sell shares, there is a loss of ownership. You are selling a percentage of your business to somebody else. Even if that's a friend or a family, they own part of your business, so there is a loss of ownership. And again, private limited companies need to publish financial data on the internet, just like public limited companies do as well. They have to publish all their financial data. Okay, back to our example. What does limited liability mean? So the same example, the business owes £1.1 million to the bank and they cannot afford to pay that money back. But this time they have limited liability. Now, because they have limited liability, the bank can take their business possessions, what they have invested in the business. So if you're a shareholder and you've invested $1 million, that's what you've invested in the business, you can lose that $1 million that you've invested. Okay? The business will lose its business possessions, and whatever the shareholders have invested in the business, you will not get that money back. However, as the owner of the business, the bank cannot take your personal possessions. They cannot come and take the shareholders' home, car, or any of their personal possessions. With limited liability, you only lose what you have invested in the business, whether that be machinery that you bought, company vehicles, factory, or just shares that you've invested in buying shares. If the business is bankrupt, you are protected. You only lose what you've invested in the business. You cannot lose your personal possessions. Okay, so just a quick definition, guys. Limited liability means the liability of a company's owners is limited to what they have invested in the company, i.e. they cannot lose their personal possessions. Okay, the last type of business ownership is a franchise business. Now I've got a fact on here which I have told you before. 20% of businesses will fail. 20% of businesses will succeed within the first 5 years. That means 80% will fail. Can be up to 90%. So 80 to 90% of businesses will fail within the first 5 years. However, 80% of franchises will succeed. I'm going to go over the reasons why that is. Okay, first of all, franchising. You've all been to franchises. Maybe you didn't know what a franchise was, but a franchise is a company such as McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut. They're all franchise businesses. And franchise is when an entrepreneur buys the right, and this is the key thing here, buys the legal right to use the name of a bigger business. So you can use their name and their brand. They will sell the products made by the bigger business. So basically by that, you can go and you can phone at McDonald's. If you have enough money, around $500,000, you can phone at McDonald's and you can say, I want to open a McDonald's store. And they can say, yes, that's fine. You give them the money. They give you a legal contract, legal permission to set up a McDonald's store. Alternatively, if you didn't do it through the franchise model, you just set up a McDonald's store in the center of town now, you'd get sued. Okay? But with franchising, you have the legal right. They give you permission to set up the business under their name. So you set up a McDonald's store and you run it under their name. So you're buying the right to use a successful, proven business's name, logo, and products. Now, we have two people involved in the franchise. We have the franchisor, and that's the business that owns the overall brand, such as McDonald's. McDonald's is the franchisor. They own the name, the logo, the business. Okay, the franchisee is the person like you or me. If you want to buy into the McDonald's franchise, you are the franchisee, and you're going to give McDonald's some money and say, Mr. McDonald, I want the permission, I want the right to set up a McDonald's store in my local town. And if they say yes, you give them the money and you can legally set up a McDonald's store. You can put the Golden Arches, you can put McDonald's, you can sell the Big Mac. You have a legal right to sell their products. Now, as a franchisee, what's the benefit of using the franchise model? Well, because you're buying into a proven, successful, well-known brand, you're more likely to get customers, you're more likely to be successful, so there's less risk. Like I said on the previous slide, 80% of franchises will succeed because you're buying into a proven business. Rather than me setting up Mr. Odell's Burgers, which would probably fail, I can set up a McDonald's, which would be very likely to succeed because it's proven, it's successful. People will just come because they know it already. It's easier to buy into an existing brand than it is to start up your own business from the very beginning. It's proven. McDonald's has already done the hard work. I'm just giving them some money to have permission to use their brand. So I'm buying into a proven business. It's already got a brand. It's already got a reputation. People know about it. And if I buy into a franchise business such as McDonald's, the franchisor would give me help. They do my advertising. They give me the products, the recipes, the machines, the training, the staff. So it's like a business in a box. It's a ready-made business. You just give the money and they give you everything that you need. So to be a franchisee, you pay in, much easier, much bigger chance of being successful. However, in order to buy into a franchise business, remember McDonald's want money from you. They won't just let you use their name for free. They want you to give them a startup fee, which is a lot of money, around $500,000, and then every single month, the franchisee has to pay the franchisor, such as McDonald's, a percentage of their profit. So every single McDonald's franchise that you see around the world, and there's thousands of them, are sending around 10% of their profit to the United States, to the franchisor, for using their logo, their name, their brand. And this is what we call a royalty. And you have to stick to the rules set by the franchisor. So if I set up my own franchise McDonald's store, I couldn't then decide I'm going to sell Mr. Oldale burgers in my McDonald's store. I wouldn't be allowed. I have to follow the rules, I have to follow the recipe and the menu of McDonald's. McDonald's sets the rules, I'm using their business and I have to follow their rules. Okay? So I have to follow the franchisor's rules. Bit of a disadvantage really, because why do we get into business? Well, we get into business because we want to make all the profit, and as a franchisee you don't get to keep all the profit, and we want to make all the decisions. Well, as a franchisee, like I've just said, you won't get to make all the decisions because the franchisor, McDonald's, will be making the decisions there. So we have more chance of being successful as a franchisee. We're buying into a proven business. It has a brand already. We're buying into that. We're just taking a slice of their business, opening a store. But we don't get to keep all the profit, and we don't get to make all the decisions because the franchisor wants some of the profit as a royalty, and the franchisor will create the menus, etc., and the products. For the franchisor, the benefits, well, because you're giving your business to all these entrepreneurs all around the world, these entrepreneurs are doing all the hard work, they're running the store for you, and it's very quick to expand. Because McDonald's has two choices. They either open a store on their own, one by one by one, a lot of hard work, takes a long time, or they give their brand to somebody, to a franchisee, and say, you run it, this is how I want you to run my business, you run it, and it's very, very quick to give that to other people to get them to open the store. You just sit back and say, thank you, I'm going to take a slice of the profit from each of these stores every month, without really having to do anything. You just sit there, take some of the income, wait for the royalties to come in, wait for that percentage of the profit. So the franchisee is running the store, very quick for you to expand. The drawbacks, if the franchisee makes a mistake, let's say they give somebody food poisoning in the McDonald's store, that doesn't just damage the reputation of their McDonald's store, that damages the reputation of all of the franchise stores, including your own. So if a franchisee, remember, you're giving somebody, an entrepreneur, your brand, and they could damage your reputation because they might do something wrong. And the franchisee gets to keep most of the profit. If you open the store yourself, you would get to keep all the profit. But you're not opening the store, you're giving the store to an entrepreneur, to a franchisee, they're running it, you're only taking a small amount of the profit. So the franchisee gets to keep a lot of the profit as well. Be careful in the exam, guys, because quite often they'll say, what are the benefits and drawbacks to the franchisee? What are the benefits and drawbacks to the franchisor? If you get it the wrong way around, you'll get no marks. So you must differentiate between the difference between the advantages and disadvantages to the franchisee and the advantages and disadvantages to the franchisor. Don't get them the wrong way around. That is 0 marks if you do that. Okay? Okay, guys, that's it from me today. I hope you found that useful, and I'll see you next time.